everybody, welcome to Let's Talk About It. First, let's open up with a word from one of our special hosts, Connor.
Or what? Oh,
Connor, you had this whole rousing speech prepared. Hurry, go into it.
but my mouth is so full of sandwich.
Son of a bitch.
Let me make sure I'm not just, masticating into the microphone.
Are you sure this isn't an ASMR podcast?
Pretty sure
Actually,
it isn't.
What is the point of this podcast?
The point of this podcast is to talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about all the RPG stuff that we've been doing and, just check in on each other. Because it's, it's been a while.
Whatever else, it's our time. But yeah, no, November was super crazy for us, so, and December will be super crazy for us, because, holiday season, so. But here we are, able to carve out a little bit of time, so, Connor, how you been?
I'm doing great. I have a sandwich.
What you eating? What you drinking?
I'm eating a sandwich because I've not eaten today, and I didn't have enough time to eat before we hopped on this call.
Self-care king.
And I am drinking some nice Meridian Hive mead in Austin.
Nice.
What are you drinking?
Well, in my time of need, when I go to my alcohol selection and find that there is none, I turn to old reliable, the one I can depend on the most. It's Wine Zinfandel, baby. Which honestly, my body has associated the flavor of White Zinfandel with binge drinking, so it's just oh no.
Apparently, my body did that to me last night with 2 blue moons.
Oh no.
I was a little bit hungover this morning, so I'm taking it a little bit light today.
That's fair. I'm also taking it relatively light today because the last time I drank liquor, I got very sick. So this will be one of our more sober episodes, ?
But we're gonna be high on life talking about all this fun stuff.
And also the cocaine I did on the bathroom before coming in here. Actually, you know what? We should probably edit that out. Sober Connor, please do not narc on me. This was a bit. Oh no, the police are at my door.
Wee woo, wee woo.
Oh my god. So
let's just jump into it.
Yeah, so disclaimer, as we've stated, it's been a minute. So we're gonna try and recap as best we can, but however,
we don't fucking remember.
Yeah, in true LTAI fashion, we did not prepare. So we definitely didn't listen to the previous episode to see what we talked about last or anything like that. So we're just gonna fucking wing it.
As we do.
That's right, baby.
I actually tuned in for one of your Alas for the Alpha C games, but how is that going?
Alas for the Alpha C is good. It is, that game is so complicated in the sense of, not in the mechanical sense, but just in the emotional sense. Because in our game, we have this fantastic love triangle where my character and friend of the channel, Anaris's Anaris's character are both in love with friend of the channel, whereas my Dingus's character, but then, because I don't remember what we talked about last time, there was a point where things got really hectic on the island we were on, and we basically like had to like drown a woman in the ocean to save her because she was like a selkie, but like we didn't really know that. Well, I guess Dingo's character knew that, but anyway, it was a whole complicated situation. And then in the midst of that, she also turned into a fucking bird. The captain turned into a fucking bird because she's a heron. And that really kind of complicated things with everyone. So both of our characters are like dealing with that in their own different ways. My character, Dagny, is dealing with that by drinking a lot. And Dylan's character, Elizabeth, is trying to rationalize that by saying, oh, you're sent by the devil to tempt me into being a lesbian, essentially, the Spark Notes version. Look, this is set in the 1800s, so, you know, like, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And it's just a big, hot, complicated mess. That game is fun to play, but at the same time, it's really tough to play because, like, the emotions are, like, so raw and, like, it's very much, like, hurt, big ol' heart hurting juice all the time because of the way things are currently. And, you know, it is more of, like, a emotion-driven game than, like, a physical action-driven game. In fact, Last for the Awful Sea is interesting because while there are moves to like lash out physically, well, there's one move to lash out physically. According to like the rule books of the game, acting out physically always brings out consequences compared to dealing with things like, you know, civilly, I guess, through like emotions and talking. So it really is more of a role-playing game than anything. And, you know, it's very much a game that's like, oh, things are bad, things are sad. Whether due to, like, you know, like it's a game that really touches on poverty and hardship and, you know, not to draw on a term for our mutual English class together, but othering, you know, it hits all of those themes. So it's definitely a very emotionally heavy game, but, you know, it's one that I feel comfortable playing because the people I play with are, like, fantastic. And we use, like, safety tools, such as the O card, which if you're not familiar, that's the one that's basically like, oh, I'm really sad, but let's keep going. This hurts really good. So, I mean, that's one that we use frequently. The O card is just be like, hey, everyone good? Everyone good? We all good? And we are always all good, but we're always hurting. So that's basically what's been happening. Biggest new plot thing is that we finally made it to a new island and with new characters to meet, and we're trying to figure out what the plot of this island is. I think it's being run by 3 bad hot crime lords, but we'll see. We're basically on, you know Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, I know Tortuga, the Pokemon?
Have you not seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's been a bit.
Okay, so you know the island that they go on? I'm pretty sure in the first movie that's like basically sin, debauchery, gambling, drinking, hookers, and blackjack.
Darko and Disney?
Basically. It's basically lawless town of fun. And maybe pirates. But that's basically what we're going through right now.
It's just been a minute since I've seen Pirates.
Me too, honestly, which should be rectified. Those movies are good up until a point. But that's enough about me. Let's go to one of your games. Let's go to your Monday night game.
Okay.
I'm going for 4 keeps.
So, Well, you definitely may you might have gotten a little bit just based off my my last couple of tweets. Uh, not good. Mostly not good. We So last time we talked about it, we left off whenever we got to our barbarian's hometown, and winter had come, even though it was spring, and we thought it had something to do with our paladin's Fae bullshit backstory. We thought the winter Fae are coming to invade, and we were kind of right. We had a coven of hags, a coven of bear hags, who were terrorizing the land. They summoned an ice version of a white dragon, which was great.
No. Great as in, oh no, not great at all, or great because it was kind of fun to fight?
Great as in it killed our paladin, who is a revenant now, so just came back. That was great. She lost her sword though. Her special sword that was given to her by our god.
Oh no.
We end up going to find one of Corey's seasons. Corey had an encounter with the Raven Queen where she sort of took her seasons to get her on the same path that Corlon walked. Well, her spring form was in this giant tree, which was it was a staff that a firbolg planted, but also an archfey.
Okay.
Who trapped us and showed us the version of our lives where we lived out our fullest potential.
Ooh, what did Archon's look like?
Archon saw a timeline where he was never raised by blood hunters.
Ooh, that's drastically different.
He was never taken away from the Cult of Tyrants.
Ooh, I bet he was big bad dragon daddy.
He was. He ended up he became the blood lord of the Ashen After, put a stop to the war in the land to the south of us. And yeah, he was fucking awesome. He hasn't told anybody about it because he thinks that they would judge him.
Yeah, how much have you shared of like your Tiamatness with the rest of your party members? Because that's usually not a thing that is met with a positive reception.
He shared the fact that he's worshiping Tiamat, but Archon hasn't been able to talk a lot about what specifically he's been doing because Tiamat does not want him to share that, his dragon patron is trapped in a nightmare crystal from the time that Dindar killed him, and has threatened somebody who he has told. So he can't really talk about the stuff that he's doing.
Reverse clap.
Can't talk about that. We get out of that because Arjon's ex saves us.
Wait, excuse me? Arjon had an ex?
Arjon had one friend growing up with the Blood Hunters, and they shared a night together.
Oh, that's so spicy.
Arjon is asexual, but it is an informed thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So Elni came and freed us and helped us defeat the tree. And trapped the Archfey so that she could take him back to the Feywild, because it turns out she's a Fey.
Oh, hey. Okay. Your ex is a full-blown, full-fledged Fey.
Yep.
Oh, Arjon.
Arjon doesn't know about it. He thinks she's an half-elf. or thought, because, she shared this with Corey, and Corey immediately told Arjan.
Oh my god. That's spicy. What kind of fae was she? Just like fae?
Just
No.
fae.
Fire. Okay.
Undercover cop.
Spicy.
So after we deal with that tree and the archfey and everything, we go and fight these 3 hags and the dragon again. Kylen dies.
Oh my god.
And the rest of us, we were able to kill 2 of the hags, but we were all in single-digit hit points and completely
Has everyone died except for Gwen?
Yep.
Oh my god. You gotta get her next.
So, our wizard cleric is dead. And none of the rest of us can revive him. So we're about to fucking marry him, because we don't know what we're doing. We don't think he can come back. But his shield, which has the daughter of the Raven Queen
what
inside of it.
I knew there was a little spirit child inside. I didn't realize it was the daughter of the Raven Queen.
Tries to heal him, but can't. Corey prays to her goddess, saying that she would, give up her moon god powers to bring Kylen back. And her goddess hears her prayers, but instead, her girlfriend, the drow, Olivia, she instead gives up her moon powers. It's more important for Corey to have hers. And so now they can no longer talk on moonlit nights.
Oh no.
But But Kylen is brought back to life. Gwen is able to reconcile with her parents, and then we head to the dwarven city of Serchelier, which friend of the channel, Just a Summer Job, did a little map of.
Hell yeah.
We got a map of the city. That's
mission maps from Summer. It.
Commission maps from Summer. They're really good.
She's really, really good at it.
So we head there. We collect on a couple of bounties. We actually got fucking paid. It's great.
Hell yeah. Money guns galore.
We get there and Arjan is just like, look, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. I just want to lay down for a little bit and think about everything that's going on. And he's acting kind of sus. But everyone's just like, okay, go ahead. He's still got this problem where he's got his dragon patron trapped in a crystal in his heart.
Yes, typical problems we all have.
Mm-hmm. And he's got 2 different aspects of Tiamat, the blue head and the green head, that are both sort of toying with him.
Dragons inside of you.
Mm-hmm. All are J-pop idols. He makes a deal with Tiamat because we're all dying, and if Arjan dies again, he's pretty sure that's going to be it for him, and also Tarlayan, the
his death counts at 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's pretty sure that Tiamat isn't going to be able to get her consort back if that happens. So he's just like, I need to get to Avernus so that you can fix this.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay. What are you willing to trade? Arjun's just like, what do you want? I want a stake in your company.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to become a shareholder. That's particularly evil.
So Indor and I have been conspiring for a bit. I I like the Acquisitions Inc. book, and I wanted to make a version of Ac Inc. in his homebrew world. It just so happens that this one is a front for the Cult of Dragons.
Oh no, you bastard! Whoops! 5 dragon heads incorporated into one. It's Tiamat.
So I go down to hell, and I meet with Tiamat, and she hugs me. So I'm living my best life. I finally meet the aspect of the Black Head of Tiamat, which Queen. And Tarlan is freed. Very weak, so he's going to be chilling in Avernus for a good minute. Arjan is alone. But Tiamat kind of had another consort for the past 20 years.
Ooh.
Who is not happy with me.
Awkward.
So I'm sure I'm going to have to be dealing with that.
Do you think that Tarlan being free will have any negative ramifications on anything, on the party, on the way things are going to be in the world? Because it seemed like he was kind of a bad dude. Like, no offense, but he seemed kind of a bad dude.
Oh yeah, he was evil as fuck, but when it came down to it, I think that he and Arjan were on the same side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that's speaking more of, but...
Same goal, different methods, or?
So Tarlane's main thing was to get back his, like, empire and dominate everything, which Arjan wasn't about, but Arjan was on board for ending the war in the Warring Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's a whole bunch of people dying. Arjan was more stop the end of the world, because that's kind of important. And Tarlane could have gotten behind that too.
Yeah, is there still like the whole moon, dark side of the moon is full of evil things thing coming forward?
We have not done anything about that. Although I'm pretty sure it has something to do with all the hags that we've been fighting.
Ooh.
Because like they've all been sort of talking, and so we're trying to track down this shifting manor that changes with the phases of the moon. Ooh. Maybe we'll find that, but we have to do some triangulation.
That's a spicy.
It's a spicy meatball. But whenever Arjan went to Avernus, our barbarian, who is in the room next to him, may have peeked in. Because you know, she heard Arjan whispering with a woman. And so she was coming in for the what you doing? I don't see that conversation ending well.
Yeah. I mean, knowing Gwen, you could just lie and be like, yeah, I was boning.
No, she saw Arjan disappear.
Oh. I went to the extra dimensional boning plane. Full stop.
No, Arjan would just tell them that he went to hell alone. Like, that's fine. I think he might get a little mad at Gwen for peeking in on him whenever she thought he was having sex.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You know, that does make sense. I mean, and I'm sure Gwen will get mad because, you know, going to hell to deal with a goddess of dragons who is not very nice typically.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be playing that this Monday because I think the Curse of Strahd group is going to be taking our spot, including me.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. I've been playing an indoors Curse of Strahd game every now and then just as a guest character. I was playing Billy the Hag.
Fuck yeah, Billy.
Totally going to be the next Dark Master of Barovia, but nobody else knows that.
Oh my god, Queen!
So yeah, that was my Monday game. What's another one of your games? Let's talk about Cape Lorelei.
Oh, Cape Lorelei is so good, and I love it. So, for those of you who aren't familiar, it is an Urban Shadows actual play podcast, which, let me say, I love doing podcasts versus doing like Twitch streams because I can show up in my pajamas. No one can see me besides the people I'm recording with, and it feels much more like a home game because it's all of us like feeding off each other's energy without anyone else like interfering, like Twitch chat. You know, you don't feel like you're being watched, and so good. I mean, and I love it when people listen to it like after the fact, but very much love the actual play podcast experience. So good. Yeah, so Urban Shadows is a game that basically thrives on drama, relational drama, political drama, conflicts of interest, and I'm trying to think where we're at in the story because where I have recorded and what has been published are two separate things. But I'm pretty sure since we have talked last, we had our first episode together where we were all in the same, well, we weren't all physically in the same room, but like 3 people were in the same room. And my character was on like a phone call. And let me tell you, that was the most chaotic experience. It's really funny because, you know, like in D&D, like an unspoken rule is never split the party, right?
Let's say that we don't speak it.
Like you always want to stay together because you never know when something will happen, because combats are always a balance for the full party and they're never balanced for anything less than that. And so if you split the party, you're going to be screwed in some sort of way. Urban Shadows is a game that, in my humble opinion, thrives best when everyone is either off doing their own thing or maybe you got like 2 people together, right? It's a game where you kind of go out and do your own errands, and eventually it's going to cross over in some ways, which is very interesting and different. Not to say that scenes where everyone's together is like a bad thing, but it's definitely very chaotic given to how I feel the game is balanced. And I think one of our most recent episodes was an indicator of that. Episode 3, maybe? Episode 4?
I think it was episode 4.
Whatever episode where we were all in the bakery talking about Daisy's ghost problem, because our friend Daisy, the veteran, the baker, has a ghost problem. But yeah, that has been going fantastic so far. I'm playing Saoirse O'Connell. She's a fae. It's been revealed at this point. Yes, it's been revealed at this point that she is not just any fae. She is a kitty cat fae. Which I you're giving me a look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so whenever I came up with the character concept for Saoirse, I based her on a real life, I guess, like fairy creature.
The test room?
The
test room?
No, actually, so she's based off Akachi, which is a Scottish cat fairy. They're all black with a white patch on the chest, which, to anyone who has seen Saoirse's character art, She has all black hair minus a white streak in the front. Very intentional. And they are, well, there's lots of different legends surrounding Kachi. One of them is the legend of the Cat King, where basically there's a funeral going. This guy is walking down the street. He sees a funeral going on. He sees a tiny little cat-sized coffin and a bunch of cats carrying this cat-sized coffin. And one of the cats was like, oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Tell Tom Tildrum that Tim Taldrum is dead. And so the guy's like, that's weird. This cat just spoke to me. He goes home. He tells his wife this. And the family cat that they have hears this, stands up and speaks and says, oh, well, if he's dead, then I'm the king of cats. And he runs off to, I guess, become the king of cats. So that is a part of Saoirse's story, because her whole thing is she wants to become the king of cats, which she is impeded in this fact because she cannot get back to Arcadia, which is our version of the Feywild, because she does not have a reliable means of transportation, and she does not feel like she is strong enough to take over the throne, because right now her dickhead brother is on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Her dickhead brother Callum, which I'm pretty sure has come up at this point, and if not, oops, I'm sure it'll come up by next time whenever we publish this.
I'm sure it'll be out by the time I find enough time to edit this.
Well, if not, oops, sneak peek.
Yeah, let's talk about it exclusive.
Second part that I have incorporated into her lore, which has not come out yet, so this is definitely an exclusive.
Ooh.
Another part of Kachi lore is if Akashi if Akashi is to walk over the corpse of someone who is recently deceased, they are able to take their soul into themselves. So there's actually like a holiday, which I can't remember the name of, but maybe I'll send Sober Connor later, based around this, where this is said to happen. And basically, so like the people of like Scotland who would believe this would go out and like leave out bowls of milk for cats, or like play with cats to distract them, because if you distract them long enough, the souls can pass on peacefully without the Kachi interfering and taking their souls. And minor spoiler, there may be a custom move where Saoirse can take people's souls, but it hasn't come up yet. It was very recently devised by me and Summer, because I came up to Summer and was like, hey, I would like to add this little piece of lore into my character since I based it off this creature. Is that possible? And Summer, being the amazing MC that she is, was like, of course. So it's been really cool to like be on my total Fae bullshit in this game, because I definitely love the Fae, and I think Kachi are very interesting. And so in the lore of where this takes place in the Cape Lorelei universe, the Kachi are known as the Kingdom of Grimalkin. Are basically all cat fae, and Saoirse just wants to go back and rule. She wants to be in charge of that court because she feels like it's her right. Does she have any actual claim to it? Debatable. She's got a lot of siblings. But that's her whole goal. That's everything she's working towards. Which is really fun, fresh, and sexy. Just given that her being a fae, and how she approaches her goals basically is like a giant steamroller over everyone else, basically. But I think it's, it's not all entirely all Fae all the time, because I think that what has recently been revealed is that Saoirse has lived a quote-unquote human life, and she has adoptive human parents. Her dad is no longer alive, but her mother is, and she was basically raised human for a long time, and has a human mom that she cares very much about, which complicates things, especially since her human mom is trying to figure out who her birth mom is, which is complicated. Don't want you to figure out that. That's no good. That's very bad. So it was very funny because her and her mom had this whole heartfelt conversation in this restaurant, just like, oh, well, I don't want you to look into that because I'm pretty happy with my family now. There's nothing else I want. But I guess if you want to look into that, that's fine. And then she immediately goes in the bathroom and calls up her friend Coley and was like, hey, can you forge like government documents? Which is fun. Also, another thing that I think has come out recently, and if not, oops, maybe it'll come up by the time that this podcast airs. Well, I know one thing that has been established already is that Saoirse and friend of the channel, underscore sender, beep, 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 beep. Our characters, Saoirse the Fae and Coley the Tainted, have a history together. They were basically quote unquote kids together. I say kids because Saoirse's a Fae and she's been alive for a very long time. So when Saoirse basically came down to Arcadia and was raised as like a human kid, or came from Arcadia, her and Coley were in school together and were very, very good friends and almost went to prom together, but Coley didn't go to prom with her. And she didn't know why at the time, but basically you find out it was because like he was off doing shit for a demonic patron, was getting sucked into that side of things. So there was kind of like this almost happened but didn't kind of romantic tension there. And I think in the most recent episode it becomes more present because they have a very like intimate conversation, and they kind of like dance around it, and that's a very fun dynamic because it is the ultimate slow burn, much to our castmates Katie and Riley's just regret. Because it will never happen. We will never fucking smooch. I'm saying it now. I'm speaking it into existence. It will be a slow burn and it will hurt. But that's really fun to explore that dynamic because I've never actually had like a romantic, I say very loosely, romantic dynamic with someone, and let me tell you, it's fun, it's spicy. But that's pretty much the gist of what's been happening in Cave Lorelei so far.
Well, while you're taking that big old sippy, Salt Marsh.
Salt Marsh.
So I think the last time we left off was whenever we were bleeding from you signing your starting your Tharstan worship.
Yes, which has progressed so well so far, and to which I mean that it kind of did not go super well. Because I think before we left off, Jill was given these 3 books by this Tharstan cultist, which she wasn't able to get to right away, but we had kind of a downtime episode in which she was able to get through the first two books, I think with help of Ullman, especially Ham, because Ham is a warlock and has like the eyes of the rune keeper to where they can read anything, even
deep speech.
cultist scribble. Yeah. And the first two books were fine. Basically, it was just like, the history of Tharsden. I mean, written from a very biased pro-Tharsden perspective of, how he was suddenly betrayed and chained. And that was the first book, basically. And I think the first book also mentioned where all of the basically anchor points of his chains are.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been in the second book, but I'm not sure. I don't have my notes on me. I actually took notes on this. Second book is basically almost like a theoretical, philosophical thing about how like spirals are in everything, pretty much. Like the spiral is always there, the chaos is always there. And as Jill is reading these books, she's becoming very much more reclusive, and things about her are becoming like slightly unnerving. Like her hair becomes slightly curlier at the ends, more like a spirally curl. Like her eyes have like a reddish tint and almost like a slight spiral in them. There was one point in an episode where she fixed Hish's coffee mug with a mending spell, and ever since then, his coffee slightly swirls in the cup.
I can't believe Jill is becoming Nacho Komaeda.
Oh my fucking god, that's banned. But, so, and finally she gets to this third book, which has been a blank book to her, but when she finished reading the first two, it makes a title and a cover appear to itself, which, if I remember right, it was called The Beginning. You think that's right?
It sounds right.
I think so. And it's something along that motif. So she opens the book up, and there's nothing in the book, right? She keeps flipping, and flipping. There's nothing in the book. All these pages are blank until she gets to the dead center of the book, where there are basically the two pages are like Vanta black, basically the blackest black. And all of a sudden, Endor says I need to roll a wisdom save, which I normally would be very good at as a cleric, but oops, didn't pass this one because oops, rolling against a god. So she's basically transported into this almost like a dream sequence where she's chained and is confronted with the voice of Tharsden, who basically tells her that she has the power to break her own chains as well as his. And I think one failed wisdom save later. Oops! She writes in this book about how the first of the anchor points of his chains in Nightstone is, oops, lifted away by giants, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, I'm pretty sure is the opening thing to Storm King's Thunder.
Yep.
That, whoop, we snatched for our campaign, but it doesn't matter. We're not going there. We're not doing Storm King's Thunder. We're going to go to Saltmarsh. So Jill kind of writes that into existence and then later finds out that it actually happened, which is incredibly unnerving and world-shattering and psyche-breaking that, words can have power such as that, because Jill, to some extent, knows that Tharsden's a bad dude and he wants to merge the planes, which would not be very good. It would very much shake things up. But, yeah. Basically, Ullman found out about that because he looked into the book, and Ham and Tharsden made contact, which was not good. And basically, there was a come to Jesus meeting where everyone was like, Jill, We noticed your little book club. That's not very good. Albus was particularly not happy.
Albus was disappointed.
In Jill's defense, she did not know fully what she was getting herself into.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I'm just going to read this and get a sense of who this god is that revived me and see how I can maybe finagle myself out of this. But she did not account for the third book basically being a trap. So, yeah, in the end, all the books ended up with Albus, I believe. I think
Albus has them in his bag of holding.
Yeah, I mean, not that it particularly matters because Tharsden found a way to weasel another book to Jill, which is basically, which is really cool, a way that they can like write to each other and communicate with each other. So they've been pen paling for a bit, which Jill has tried to convince Tharsden of the merit of people. Like, they had one conversation where, like, people are worth more than just their usefulness to you. Because Tharsden is basically like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save people, but only the people that like believe in me and do things for me. And Jill's like, well, why don't you just like save everyone though? But I don't know if that made that much of a difference. But spicy. That's been Jill's thing up until this mission that we had. Did anything special happen with Albus? I'm trying to remember.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that mission where both of us died?
Okay, I didn't realize you wanted to lead with like the punchline, but yeah, sure. So, we took on the chapter in Ghost of Saltmarsh, which, I mean, Ghost of Saltmarsh, spoilers ahead. We actually did the story for this one, called The Final Enemy, where basically the town of Saltmarsh was like, hey, these Sahuagin are a big fucking pest. And all the people living in like the Outlands are like, yeah, they're a pest for us too. So basically everyone comes together and we're like, oh, this is it. We're going to defeat it. The final enemy, the Sahuagin. We're going to infiltrate their fortress, which is really funny for our campaign. Just basically how we place ourselves to where like our enemies are like the gods and powers beyond our control. But yeah, sure. The final enemy, Sahuagin, fish people. Sure. All right.
To be fair, they were trying to summon the Sahuagin god.
And as we came to find out, but, we ended up trouncing them after we infiltrated their fortress twice. I mean, it came at great personal cost to us. Like, on the first day when we were surrounded by Sahuagin, we were like,
let's surrender and get brought further in.
Which, to be fair, Jill was against from the very beginning, but she decided to go with him anyway. But it led to some really cool scenes. However, really bad thing that happened. They took all of our stuff, which means, Ulman the Sword was kidnapped.
And tortured.
Yeah, he ended up getting all of his little sword bits shaven off to where he was just a hilt. And it turns out he can feel pain. Which is not good because now he has PTSD.
Yep.
But we were on the jail cell. We broke out, which was a really cool sequence because I did something that was so incredibly on some bullshit. So, like, we were, like, chained up in these chains. And in my mind, I'm like, chains. I know someone who's all about breaking chains. Yo, T-Daddy. So basically, Jill like cut herself against like her own manacles and wrote out in her blood essentially break these chains. And with a high enough religion check, Tharsden took pity on me and was like, yeah, sure, homie. And all of the chains in the jail cell like began to break one by one. Which was a really cool sequence. I'm sure really unsettling for Albus.
Albus couldn't see most of it.
Oh yeah, it's true. You don't. Well, at least I think at that point he didn't have dark vision.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you want to talk about that yet, but Albus underwent some changes.
Yeah, so this is a good point to start talking about it. I wasn't having fun.
I mean,
As
that's
as as we got further into the temple, like whenever we got to the underwater part, like Albus is the only character who doesn't have dark vision, so he couldn't like see most of the things, and all of his spells, well, most of his spells require like you to be able to see somebody to target them.
yeah.
Um, there was an entire session where none of my spells were hitting. Either everybody was saving or the dice just weren't in my favor. I was not having a good time.
Also, your stats were not that good. Let's
My
just be honest.
my
They were not
stats
good.
weren't good to begin with. Like I'm working with 2 negatives, and my highest was a 16. Whenever everybody else has at least 116, somebody has 2 18s and a 20.
Yeah, I had like a 20 and an 18. Now I think I have. Okay, yeah, no, I had a 20 and an 18.
Yeah, I was rolling bad on my hit points at the beginning, so in order to actually, survive more than one hit, I had to go ahead and take the tough feat, which put me back in ASI to even try to get my stats on par with everybody else. It was bad. I wasn't feeling great, so
That's
I talked with Endor to respec my character a bit. So Alvis the Kalashtar Bard was no more, and instead there's Alvis the Simic Hybrid Sorcerer Aberrant Mind.
which it functions almost similarly, minus the fact that you have like less bardic inspiration, more sorcery stuff.
I actually have more Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, you do have more?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you had less.
It's based off of your charisma. I don't refresh it every short rest now, but I have 4 slots instead of 3.
That's the difference. Okay. Wow. So even that's improved. But like, and your sorcerer subclass changed.
Yes. So my main thing is that I wanted to keep Albus a water breather because he's an aboleth. So because I got that from Simic Hybrid, whenever he was a Kalashtar Bard, he took a dip into sorcery to make him a little bit more survivable. But I was using the Unearthed Arcana Sea Sorcerer, which gave him water breathing.
Yeah.
But now he is an Aberrant Mind Sorcerer to give him more psionic flavor.
Which makes total sense. And that like came out halfway through a game. And
Yeah.
even then when it came out, you were basically like, oh man, that's would have been perfect for Albus. So which makes total sense that you would like reclass, respec, and everything. I'm so glad that Endor let you do it. Also, a quick aside. One stat generation method that I'm a fan of that Ethan, I think, introduced to us.
EJ the Grey, friend of the channel, PPU.
Is basically like everyone rolls a stat pool together. Like we all roll like 2 46s. You drop the lower, and then from the 2 that I don't remember exactly how it works. I don't know if you take
so we have 4 players, so each one of us rolls 2 stats, and then from those 8 stats that are generated, we pick 6.
Yes, that's how it works. Thank you. And we did that recently because we're preparing for something, which we'll tell you more about later. And that was really cool. I really like that because we're all on the same page. We all got to like roll, and luckily we rolled fairly well.
Yeah.
And then we all got to pick together what we wanted our stats to be, which we were all pretty much on the same page. We were like, yeah, we want fairly high stats, but let's take 1 negative because that's always more fun.
Yeah, it's really great because you get all the benefits of, well, you get the benefit of, hey, you can have stats that are higher than the standard array if somebody rolls particularly well. So you can be a little like super tough, a little bit overpowered. But everyone's still on the same power level.
Mm-hmm. Which wasn't the case with Ghost of Saltmarsh, and that's why you didn't really have as much fun compared to the rest of us because we rolled better.
Yeah.
But now that's been mitigated to some effect.
Yeah, no, Albus is still so much weaker than the rest of you.
Yeah, but you're having more fun, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like, I can actually do damage now. Part of it is also just like I don't play the right kind of bard.
Well, now you're more sorcerer than bard.
Mm-hmm.
So do you play the right kind of sorcerer?
We haven't gone in a lot of combat since then. We've had one big combat, and Albus was doing a lot. Like, that Hunger of Hadar was really clutch.
Ooh,
but then we both died.
Yeah, so listeners, that happened. We both died. Which 2 deaths for Jill, and my only 2 deaths in any TTRPG so far, which I would like to qualify with. It wasn't a mechanical death per se. It was more of a narrative death because we didn't actually play that part of the battle out. Andor was just like, yeah, the battle happened and you guys died because, you know, the way that section of Ghost of Saltmarsh works out, the final enemy where you're storming the Sahuagin fortress, apparently you win no matter what, but based on what you do affects how well you win and how the town feels about you afterwards. So by the time that we had come to a point in the battle where I think we had already gone like over our streaming time, where Andor was like, "Yep, let's cut it." Both Albus and Jill had like passed out, but not technically died yet.
I think the enemies were coup de grace-ing us.
I mean, yeah, probably, but you know what? For my ego, I've only had one death. Which Jill totally could have gotten away without dying, but she did go back to save Albus and lost her invisibility. So you're welcome, Albus.
The entire rest of the party is very suspicious of Albus and thinks that he is this evil motherfucker, but he died saving Ullman, the sawed-off sword. So.
Yeah, you were the one who got Ullman back from this evil form Sahuagin.
And everybody still hates him.
I mean, Jill doesn't particularly hate him, but you know. And Albus are like the most problematic, so you know, just who knows? Yeah. Like, what is my opinion?
I got a question.
Oh.
So whenever Albus died, he actually galaxy brained. Like, he got the infinite knowledge of himself, and he knows how to free Jill from all these gods that want to take advantage of her.
Yes.
Would you take it?
Yes, 100 times yes. So here's the thing. Jill's pretty complicated because she basically had no choice of Umberlee having her eye on her and ended up almost drowning, and then entered this whole thing with Umberlee, and that she felt like she couldn't get out of because Umberlee's a very petty, bitchy god, and like, oh, well, you know, if I can't have you, then oops, I'll drown your family, which are sailors. So she was stuck on the same with Umberlee until she died and was resurrected in the Temple of Tharsden. Tharsden was like, hey, I can get you out of that. Just come with me. I'll make sure your family are safe. I'm not going to tell you the full stipulations of that. So Jill was like, okay. And then she's finding out more and more. She's just like, you know.
Wait.
What?
Wait, Tharsden did say, like, I'll make sure your family is safe?
Yes.
Skothka's in your hometown.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that point yet, and honestly did not realize that until well, I mean, Tharson said, I will keep your family safe if you do this for me whenever I bring about the end of everything.
Well, Skothka's in your hometown.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, we'll talk about that more in a second. But you know, so she's doing this, but Jill's always been like, I want my life to be free of the gods. I don't want the gods to have any sort of bearing on my life. I want to do what I please. So yes, 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 1,000 times yes. She would love to be free of Umberly, Tharsden, and anyone else. But I mean, at this point in the story, she feels very nihilistic about the whole thing. Because so we both had our own death sequences. Yours being you didn't really die. You just went back to the plane of water.
Yep.
Were an aboleth and got all your knowledge back.
Well, he didn't have a body.
Oh yeah. But, you know, you were able to come back as Albus.
Yep.
And retain a few
choice bits.
A few choice knowledge bits. One of them being how to get someone out of a deal with a god, which I appreciate. Jill's death sequence was basically she spent the 8 days it took before she got revived living out her life as it would have been had no gods ever paid attention to her. So she was a sailor for a time, ended up opening a paper. She ended up getting a lot of money and good political attention for her family and lived a very happy, calm life. And the sequence ends with her meeting up with this beautiful, long-haired, brunette man with brown eyes, beard. And the next thing you know, she wakes up and she's alive again. And that fucking sucked for her. Sucked so much. Jill very much does not want to be alive at this point. Oh, it's so bad. But, our characters had a nice... me to you, our characters had a very nice conversation in which they got to vent a few of their frustrations.
Yeah, we had a really nice bleed episode.
We did. And Connor and I specifically bled all over each other as the people of the characters who had died and felt very frustrated by that. I mean, to our own reasons. I think Albus was more frustrated at the fact that he died, and Jill was more frustrated at the fact that she was alive. Which, oof. But, and that's really fun and cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll deal with whoever's trying to kill Ullman next time. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah, that's true, because the last episode ended with Ullman getting stabbed by who we thought was Viari, but who was very much not Viari, because that was a woman's voice, and Viari, not a woman. But also, to kind of bring it back to what you said earlier, we also found out, which I certainly didn't put two together, I don't know if anyone else did, that the aboleth you're looking for,
mm-hmm.
That Albus is looking for, Skothka, is in Jill's family's hometown, which is not cool, not good, which we will need to address.
Well, we will need to find a way to make our characters know that.
Yeah, because...
Well, I guess Albus knows the name of the place where he's going. He just doesn't know that your family's from there.
Yeah, but once Jill finds out, she'll be able to, I guess, potentially put two and two together, because, I mean, depending on how you phrase it as this is a bad thing, then she'll be very much gung-ho about taking care of that problem, which I don't even know what the next chapter of Saltmarsh is going to bring for us. Probably not that, but who knows? We'll probably go off script.
Tamarot's fate.
Okay. I mean, I have no idea what the content of that is. But who knows? We'll see where it takes us. I assume that Oldman being stabbed and whoever is stabbing him has to do with this next part of the chapter, but I honestly have no clue. I'm just here for the ride, baby. I'm as clueless as you are. You being the audience, not Connor, he knows.
So that was our streamed games. We ended masks.
We did end masks. Sorry.
So speaking of games where you died.
Sorry, it's been a few weeks since we ended masks, and I had like processed it, but now that we're bringing it up again, it's all coming back, and it hurts.
So speaking of games where you died.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly where we ended up last time on our discussion of masks. So to basically get to the major plot points, I guess, we found out that basically the big bad baddies of our campaign, which was Dr. Entropy, my character, Miasma's mentor, her brother, Venom, who was still alive and all roided out on this chemical called unobtainium, which supercharges your powers. Uh-oh, not good. And all their council of evil baddies was going to this new building to like break out these supers and like juice them up with some unobtainium, which our characters were able to find out through the sentient, basically the personification of fate, that that would bring about the end of the world. So hey, maybe you should stop that.
But actually
Oh, and along the way, before we got to that, well, shortly before we got to that battle point, Miasma was doing some. So, fun thing about the Reform Playbook in Mask is that you get your own contacts from your time as a villain who can do things for you. I mean, eventually you'll have to pay them back in favors, but they can like do some things on the side for you. So she had a contact who was knowledgeable in materials and chemicals such as unobtainium. So she goes to her contact and basically like, hey, I need you to make something that can counteract this, because it's really super strong. And her friend's like, okay, gotcha. And then sometime later, she's like, oh, hey, so like, I made this, but like, here's the catch. You can either just like take it as is and have like 3 limited doses, and if you miss your chance, that's it. Or just like incorporate it into your body system and have this be a part of you permanently, which we don't know the full effects of, but like, you'll have unlimited access and unlimited attempts to neutralize all the unobtainium. And Miasma / Juno, who has been a fairly selfish character so far, and has basically been like, hey, no one should consume any of the stuff. It's very dangerous. Basically, it's like, you know what? Sure, fam, sign me the fuck up. And yeah, goes into like a little coma. She is juiced up, which was totally fun. Ended up looking way different before she got juiced up with we never named it in game. But I mean, it was like the green goop.
The
We also called it
inobtainium.
Anti-Unobtainium. We also called it Anti-Unobtainium. But we never came up with a solid name for it. It was like an antidote. But like before then, she had like black hair with like fuchsia highlights. And she wore a surgical mask because she had nasty, fucked up, scarring tissue all over her mouth and stuff because, oh, she spits poison and stuff, and that's not really good on you. But afterwards, she had like beautiful, perfect, flawless skin, and now there's acid green hair. And the Cybrwulf, while it made her really strong, if she comes into any contact with unobtainium, it would basically neutralize her. So, probably should not come in contact with her own twin brother who's juiced up on unobtainium, but woo, we love the drama, we love the cinematic parallels. So that was my character's development before the big battle.
Hunter didn't really have a lot of development before his battle.
Yeah.
Mostly it's just like, I'm just trying to do good at my job, but my job involves helping all of y'all.
I mean, I think Hunter had had an interesting character arc where, like, you know, because he was on the side of the Aegis, he's a product of Aegis, but then he's finding out that Aegis is doing some like shady things, and he's starting to question whether like blind loyalty to Aegis is like the way to go, or maybe should he like question things. I mean, it was like it wasn't like the most overt thing, but like I noticed and I appreciated it.
Yeah, for playing a soldier character, and using the soldier playbook, I guess Hunter's whole thing was like, am I just a soldier, or should I be trying to think for myself and realize that, hey, some fucked up shit is going on? But you know, he just wanted everybody else to be able to do their things. He was really worried about like getting karma in.
Yeah. Which I think Ginger Benji, friend of the channel, his character had interesting art in relation to Aegis too, because they were a diehard Aegis stan and wanted nothing more to get into Aegis as the beacon. But I think by the end of it, they were like, maybe Aegis isn't the way to go. Maybe I should walk my own path and figure out what's right, which is interesting to see. And if we ever revisit this campaign, which perhaps we will in the future, I would love to see that develop more. As I would love to see Hunter's relationship to Aegis develop more.
Yeah. I really liked Hunter in the courtroom.
Oh my fucking god, yeah. So we basically went to time court and were put on trial by fate. And like fucking Hunter brought the fucking receipts on fate. And we're like, fate is problematic, toxic, canceled. In this 452 tweet essay, I will. And you basically got it to where fate was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to tell you my plan. And like,
and we're going to stop this.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what's really up. Now you got to take care of it. This was all a facade to get you to realize the stakes. Now get out of here, rascals. But yeah, that was a clutch moment by Hunter.
Yeah. But now that one of us is dead.
Okay, so here's what happened.
And one of us is in the future.
So here's what happened. Okay, here's what happened. So we get into this epic boss fight with all of the bosses we've seen so far. And we ended
Hunter tanking like a badass.
Yeah.
Doing the most. Me playing a character role that I actually like.
Yes. Miasma all juiced up with her new powers because this goop makes her able to do like a shit ton of stuff. Like she is fucking sauced up, like badass. But like we were able to defeat most of our enemies. One of them ended up getting away. I'm looking at you, weird mannequin doppelganger man. But oh, and Dr. Entropy ended up like dying and like incorporating himself into Venom because oops, turned out Venom was the big baddie all along. It was pulling the strings. Oops, oops.
He infected another girl.
Oh yeah, and he did end up infecting a girl with super screamy powers with the bad juice, the unobtainium. But we were able to mitigate that in the end, kind of. We were like, hey, just like be good. And she was like, okay.
Yeah, Hunter, as a member of IGES, who was like, IGES was keeping these kids like trapped in this thing and like doing experiments or something on them, or just like holding them, but never really telling them why. Hunter was just like, yeah, that's bad. I'm going to take you into custody and I'm not going to hand you back over until like I'm going to make this stop.
Yeah.
Of course, he's like bleeding out whenever he's saying this, so.
But it was still good on Hunter and like character development because he's not following Agas's orders. Bless you.
So boss fight.
So it ended up being like basically the only person still present was Venom. And he has this power where he can fucking just turn into particles. And Miasma also had it too. So she was like, hey, you guys take care of the kids. And then just fucking bamfed up to the top floor of this very tall building. And then also, friend of the channel, Arsqueef, also ended up finding a way up to the top of the building. And after a very emotionally charged conversation between Juno and her twin brother Jasper, we had a very interesting thing happen where two characters triggered their moment of truth at once. So, to those of you who aren't familiar with masks, a mechanic in the game is one of the mechanics in the game is called Moment of Truth. And the Moment of Truth is different for each playbook, and it's kind of written out like what the script is and basically what the stipulations of everything are. But basically, you as a player have complete control of the scene. The GM cannot be like, yes, but you have complete control over what happens and how things resolve. It's a move that you can use only once unless you get the advancement to unlock it again.
Once.
But yeah, you can only get that once. So really, twice you can do your moment of truth. Should you choose. But AQ and I both triggered ours at the same time, which was really interesting because we both like kind of came to a consensus and narrated together how we wanted this scene to go. And it ended up working out really nicely, the pairing of things. And so essentially what ended up happening, so like Juno and Jasper basically have these opposing chemicals in each other, to which if they are to mix in any way, both chemicals neutralize each other. So Juno uses her newfound powers to basically turn herself into particles again and pass through Jasper, which ends up starting to neutralize him in this moment because he doesn't really have powers anymore. AQ's character Clip is able to push him off the edge of the building. Just fucking jump for it. But oh my god, the way he narrated it was so cool. By the time that Jasper hits the ground, AQ's character is gone. He is Back to the Future. Juno gets down there and she's starting to hey, I'm not feeling so good. Gets down to her brother and they, have a short, heartfelt conversation. And are leaning against each other as they slowly turn into statues. And that was the end of my character, which I will say was totally intentional. I very much planned this and carried this out. I had the option not to die. I was offered multiple times, and every time I said no because I had this planned for several sessions to fucking martyr myself because AQ's character has a move where he assigns roles to people based off how it goes in the future, and he assigned my character the martyr role, and I said, you know what, bitch? Bet.
Try me, bitch.
All right, you want to play this game? Fine. But we had like a little epilogue to where AQ's character in the future is talking to my friend who made the anti-unobtainium in the future, who's basically like, hey, can you like do me a favor and go back in time and give the past version of me this flash drive, which we don't know what's on it, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, it'll be a hot minute before we come back to masks because we're doing some new things in between, but we do know that we will be picking up masks in the future, and I'm excited for that because playing masks was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoy playing games with you guys anyway. Like any game we play, I would be 100% down for, but I really enjoy playing masks.
Yeah, it was a good time. But we're playing something different now.
We are. Just introduce it while I take a big sip of wine.
So, while we were playing this Powered by the Apocalypse mask game, Ethan was on some bullshit about Monster of the Week.
On some bullshit.
And was really interested in making a rural Louisiana setting for Monster of the Week and running some mysteries in it.
Wait.
So we've rolled up some characters and we've played a couple of sessions with these boys, girls, and clockwork people.
Yeah, do you want to like break down that party composition, that this very interesting party composition of people who should probably not be together but are?
Yeah, so our dear friend Ginger Benji, PPP, is playing a clockwork person construct, a light with
what's the name of that playbook again?
I think it's the Constructed.
Yeah, so it's a playbook from I think the first version of Monster of the Week that is not available in the present version, but hey, who cares? We brought it to this version. Don't like it? Suck an egg.
Named Tick. And yeah. He's well, they are apparently everybody's really okay with it.
Yeah, a clockwork man who's really good at shooting, and has sentience, and is, trying to assert that right because some people don't think things he's, not a people.
Like my person who doesn't believe that Tick has a soul.
Hey, who's your person?
My person, their alias is Shepherd. They are, I think his name is Francis Williams.
That's Uncle Francis.
Reverend Francis Williams. He is the wronged. He has the tragic backstory where his former parish, his church people, were all killed by a Rougarou.
Oh shit, it's a Rougarou. Which I just want to say that I 100% called, because to those of you who aren't familiar with Louisiana folklore, Rougarou basically kind of a werewolf-like creature. So I said, if he's not playing a Rougarou, oh, he's playing the wrong. Somebody was killed by a Rougarou. And well,
I will say, one of the concepts that I was talking to Ethan about with Shepherd was that he was a werewolf, or is a werewolf, and his entire pack was killed by a Rougarou.
Is that the case?
No.
Okay.
He's the wronged. He's not the monstrous.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I was shocked when you ended up going with something other than the monstrous, because, not to like typecast you, but you kind of seemed like you were going for the monstrous, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's done enough for a werewolf, because, the werewolf is your litmus test.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But can I werewolf this?
Are you enjoying playing the wrong so far?
It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, we're still getting comfy, cozy with everything, and new playbooks, new moves, and everything. And once more advancements come, and you have more room to stretch out, and use moves.
Yeah. I really I like the relationship that he has with AQ's character, who is.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So AQ's character is, what's his
name?
Sandy. Sandy is a divine. Pretty sure he's an angel.
Pretty sure he's an angel.
Pretty sure he's...
because AQ is a mysterious motherfucker when it comes to characters. Basically, he's your friendly neighborhood angel, and is just like totally like makes the best shit for your potluck, is on the neighborhood watch, trims your hedges for you, just like your perfect neighbor who also happens to be an angel.
Yeah. So
that's all we know about him, basically.
Pretty much, but he
we don't even know he's an angel in character.
we don't know that he's an angel out of character.
We
know that he can heal people and has like is it a flame sword?
God.
Yeah. That's something. Totally not giving Shepherd a crisis of faith. That is one thing that I really wanted, that I was really happy with Shepherd, is having him be a very like Christian faith-based character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trope that I don't get to play enough, but I like it.
And my character.
Your character, I really like my relationship with your character as well.
Yes, we have a very fun, complicated relationship. So, I'm playing Clementine, aka Clem Dupree, who is the Hex, which is basically the way. Is like a magic user with a lot more darker consequences compared to like the spell slinger you would get in like the normal playbook or any other characters that use magic. And the way we're flavoring it, because of course South Louisiana, is that she is a voodoo priestess in training. because her mama is a voodoo priestess and she's staying with her for the summer and is learning a thing or two. And she totally has like Gen Z energy, which is really funny because I think the rest of her party is like 40-year-old men and above, depending. And it's really great because we established, because one of the very fun things about Monster of the Week is when you do your session 0, there are roles that you can assign to each character, like, oh, hey, I know so-and-so because blah, blah, blah. And the thing we established is that Connor's character, Shepard, is her uncle in some way, in the fun Southern way that, oh, yeah, they're kin.
Oh, yeah, it's they're my kin.
So, yeah, Uncle Francis is her kin, which is really funny because he's very much
he's very much a white Christian preacher.
Yes, and Clementine is African American, and is dabbling in this new magic stuff, and she really enjoys it, and he does not enjoy that she enjoys it.
Nope.
But yeah, the hex is fun. It's definitely a complicated playbook. It's part of a supplement of Monster of the Week called
Tome of Mysteries.
The Tome of Mysteries. You're right. Yeah. And it has its own mechanic called the rotes, to where you create your own spells, which are more powerful than use magic, which is the base magic system of the game, but not as powerful as big magic, which has a lot more stipulations than the regular use magic, but it's medium-sized magic you can use on demand, costing a few materials or whatever, which is fun, cool, fresh, and sexy. And I have not come up with my first rote yet. I do have a rote that I need to write, which luckily the playbook says, hey, when you're starting out, you have a rote, but you don't have to make it right away. But I think I know what I want my rote to be, because, and let me just take a swig real quick because my throat is very dry. So in our first mystery so far, we were basically asked by this guy in town, his name is Old Scratch, he owns a bar, to look into this weird disappearance that's happening in this state park. And we're like, sure, I guess. And we do so. And along the way, my character's like, hey, maybe we went into this guy's RV. I collected, some hairs and some toenails. Whoops. Maybe I should do a little spell real quick to see if I can kind of scry on him to see where he's at now. So she does so. And ends up seeing this figure, but this figure can see her and talk to her, which is not something that is supposed to happen. Turns out his name is the Baron something. I forgot his last name. Sorry, Ethan. And he's basically a spirit of the Loa, which are not good spirits in the voodoo religion, who bury people's dead bodies. So oops, our guy's dead. But oops, this guy does not take super kindly to Clem scrying in on him. So like after that, Clem talks with her mama, who's a voodoo priestess, and was like, hey, never do that again. Clem's like, okay, but yeah, she totally wants to do that again. So thinking my first rote that I want to write up together with Ethan is to create a spell to where I can talk to the Baron some more, because that can be helpful. Talking to a spirit of death can be helpful, right? You're shaking your head. No, but you should be shaking it yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying
huh?
do it because yes, be on that bullshit, but
Shepard is saying no. Connor is saying yes. Oh, and
Connor
also,
is saying no to Connor the person, but Connor the player is like, yes, give me that drama.
what we are fighting currently, because Louisiana bullshit, we figured out that the monster in this case are grunches, the grunches, which are weird fucking little people who mutated into weird little gremlins who suck your innards out. They suck you dry.
How the grudge stole your blood, your body fluids.
How the grunge stole your pancreas. But yeah, so next time we come in, we're gonna be. Were we in the middle of a fight, or we were?
No, we were investigating.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, we were about to roll up on Grunch HQ.
Yeah.
So that's fun and good, but I think once we finish up this arc of the mystery, I think we're gonna be starting something new.
Yeah, we're gonna be starting that Descent to Avernus game.
Oh my god, we're gonna start Descent into Avernus.
Yeah, if you want to know how to run Descent to Avernus, but in Tal'Dorei, that's up on the Patreon. You don't even have to be a patron.
Wow, that's cool.
For now.
But yeah, I feel like we should save the details of that for that later. But
yeah,
just want you to know, it's coming.
It's coming.
And who knows? Maybe I'll tweet summaries of that, like I did with our other D&D games.
Yeah, that was always fun.
But we're gonna be back on that D&D bullshit. It's been a minute since we've done it. I mean, I'm excited to play any system with my very good friends. But it will be fun getting back into D&D, because that's what we started out with. We cut our teeth on, Summer and on Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So it'll be fun to get back into that.
Yeah. We'll be starting that next year. We have another game that we're starting next year too.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that? Is that what we're thinking of? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
We can't really talk about it, but I'm really excited for my character for that thing.
Should we hint vaguely about that?
Mm-hmm.
So coming in 2020, I cannot tell you when, Connor and I will be in a project together.
Mm-hmm.
That will be available for streaming viewing, and that's probably all we can say, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about my character.
I'm excited about
mine too. I'm gonna be tackling a lot of. I want to be able to tackle a lot of new things with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Not just be back on my bullshit, but like I have a character who the relationships that he's had and the trauma that he's gone through is going to be very important to his character, and I'm excited to explore it.
I'm gonna be back on my bullshit in some ways, which I'll tell you more about later. You, me, and Connor, the audience, you'll have to wait. I'll be back on my bullshit in some ways, but I'll be on some different bullshit in some new ways, and that's gonna be exciting, but yeah, that's just a little teaser. It's a little taste.
That's all you
is
get.
2020, Kylen Connor, more game stuff. It's coming for your public consumption.
But yeah, let's
Is it break time?
Let's take a break, and then we'll be back to talk about more stuff that's coming up next. Well, not stuff that's coming up next year, but more just like the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the last. Let's talk about it of the year.
So
can't talk about it anymore until next year.
So yeah, year review coming up, and so it's our last break of the year, of the decade even. How do we want to do this?
Okay, what were your original thoughts?
Just like some Christmas music, like maybe like a Christmas trap remix.
Ho, 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 under the mistletoe.
And just like a twerking Santa. Because, right, this is going to be Christmas.
If all that fails, then we'll find the twerky.
Oh my god. Bring out the twerky, but on a Christmas
hat. All right. Bye, guys.
All right. See you in a moment.
You what?
Welcome back. Let's talk about it.
Welcome back. This is apparently the episode where we just masticate into the mic.
You love this shit. This is what you pay for.
This is what you paid your $0 for.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh god. So dry.
So while Kylen is scarfing down a big old mouthful of some dry ass pretzels, we are going to well, this is the last episode of Let's Talk About It for the year, and it has been a year.
Wow, what a doozy.
So we're gonna reminisce about 2019.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody's tired of the Spotify year wrapped stuff showing up on their Twitter timelines, and by the time we actually publish this, they're all gonna be irrelevant. But yeah, we're gonna do our own little Let's Talk About It wrapped.
Oh, that's parkour of the year.
Ooh, parkour. So, you, unlike me, actually made a New Year's resolution. So, how'd that go?
I did. I never normally did do that because I'm very much like, oh, why even try? I'll fail. But I did make some New Year's resolutions on a very public forum. Why would I do that? But as of January 3rd, 2019, the New Year's resolutions that I published, and I'm just gonna go back real quick to make sure. I took a screenshot, but I want to make sure I got all of it. So, Super Connor, speed this up in post. So, my New Year's resolutions for 2019. Number one, in all caps, was to graduate, and that I would like to start my first quote-unquote big girl job, which I can say now, both of those things happened. I graduated college. I am done with school. I do not plan to go back to school for any time in the near future. Maybe one day, probably not, but for now I am done with school. So that is reassuring. And I work a big girl job. I make money. I get benefits. So that's cool. I mean, my job is not the best, but yay, I work.
Yay.
I still made the requirements. Second on my New Year's resolutions, reach Twitch affiliate, which let me check and see when I actually got this. So Connor, speed this up in post because I didn't look this up ahead of time. So I set the goal for myself in January to reach Twitch affiliate, January 3rd, 2019. And on March 11th, 2019, I happened to hit Twitch affiliate.
Yay!
So 2 months into the new year, I was able to hit that goal. I've been affiliate now for April, May, June, July, August, September, October.
Like 9 months.
Almost December. Yeah, almost 9 months. That's almost a full-term pregnancy where I've had my Twitch baby. Which has been so incredibly rewarding. I've loved having access to those emotes, and just like my Twitch community and friends. And also, I mean, to be honest, it does not hurt having the extra bit of cash every month that comes from being an affiliate. I mean, it certainly doesn't pay all my bills, but it definitely helps with things. So I'm incredibly appreciative of that. And on top of it, I'm incredibly appreciative for the excuse to just like play video games.
Yeah.
And have people be there with me while I play video games and just like talking with my friends. Like both aspects, the financial and the personal, are very rewarding. So again, I'm overwhelmed and incredibly grateful that I was able to meet that goal. And I've maintained it for this year. So yeah, my other resolution goals, play more online/offline campaigns, which I believe definitely came true.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm trying to think. I don't remember what I was playing in whenever I made that resolution.
I think we were playing in Dragon Knights.
Okay.
Or at least getting into season 2 of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the case. I don't remember anything else was going on at that time. But since then, definitely playing more games, more channels, and I think coming up into 2020, I will be very busy in that regard because the projects I'm in currently are not wrapping up, and I might be taking on a couple more. Which, and of course, got home game stuff, which is, I love. Like, I love this hobby. Don't always have time for this hobby, but I make time. So I definitely feel like I fulfilled that goal. Okay, so this one says, DM my first campaign, in parentheses, I've only done one shot so far. On that one, did not end up running a campaign. However, I did run at least 3 one-shots this year, which is a record for me. I ended up running one D&D one-shot, which, if you guys remember, I talked about it on here. I ran one in the same universe as our Amon Dragon Heist campaign. Only all the player characters were the kids from that campaign. So, Nat, Swidley, Jinx, and then there was an OC made by Rhiannon. And they were all playing them, just slightly older. And that was my first one shot with multiple people that came from my own brain, and I was fairly proud with how that turned out. It wasn't too terrible. And then I ran 2 Ryotama one-shots. It was the same Ryotama one-shot as the default one that comes with the book, which for those of you who aren't familiar with Ryotama, it is a pastoral Japanese TTRPG where you basically travel because it is the cultural expectation to travel and gather stories to feed the dragons of this world who write the stories of this world and power everything in this world. And it's very cute, and it's like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, Dragon Quest, I don't know, all these cute, fun Japanese style cozy games all mesh up together with like some Oregon Trail style resource management. It's very interesting. It's a game where the journey is as important, if not more so, than the destination. So I was originally only going to run one shot, but several people expressed interest in it more than I could feasibly run in one group. So I was like, okay, I'll run it again for more people. And that was really fun. I'm still not super comfortable as a GM. I think with more practice, I'll find my groove. My problem is, which I have, Connor and I were talking about this during the break, I have a problem opposite of most people, where they're like struggling to find a DM GM. My problem is that all my friends are DMs and GMs. So like, you know, they all want to run stuff, and I'm just like, well, they all want to run stuff, and I probably shouldn't run anything because I don't have time to prep. So I just like let them do what they want, which, you know, is good because they run very good games. But one day I will run a campaign of my own, maybe. Still something that's incredibly nerve-wracking to me, but who knows? That was not something I accomplished in 2019, but maybe in the next decade I will accomplish at some point. Next one was read more books for fun. I think that one was also kind of a no. Unfortunately, I read textbooks, but I really didn't read that much for fun outside of like tabletop game source books.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't really count, I don't think. I never read any like fiction or like good nonfiction books for fun, although I did buy a book like a few days ago that I want to read. I bought Gideon the Ninth because I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter and I really wanted to read it. But yeah, reading's a hobby I want to get into again, because whenever I was a kid I was a voracious bookworm.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically read everything I possibly could. And then I got older and busier, and reading for leisure kind of fell on the wayside. And now I'm trying to rebalance all of my hobbies. So it's definitely something I would like to get into again. I wasn't able to get into it for this year, but maybe in the next decade. My last one was cook more, which I kind of accomplished. I wouldn't say it was a full success, but I definitely did cook more. Not on like huge grand scale meals, but like, you know, I would like I'd be like, I want some vegetables. Let me saute up some like spinach and mushrooms and cherry tomatoes and all those good things. And then I would occasionally make like, you know, some entree dishes, and of course, I make some pretty mean haystacks, which are a dessert. I made some of those. I also tried some new recipes. Like I made some really good like lemon almond white chocolate bars that I just found a recipe for online, and those were a total hit. So yeah, no, I think I did accomplish the goal. So ding, check that one off. So I would say out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals I set for myself, I hit 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 4 out of 6, 2/3. Not bad for 2019.
Yeah. I didn't make a New Year's resolution. Or if I did, and I said it somewhere else, I sure as fuck don't remember it. But yeah. Let's we finished off Dragon Knights this year.
We did, apparently. God, it's been like, it feels like a millennia.
We also finished off Iman Dragon Heist, our first longer campaign with the home group.
God, that was an emotional.
That was a great time. Like,
oh God,
that
was a fantastic campaign. Like, definitely one of the most fulfilling home campaigns I've ever been a part of.
Nice and short, which is great. Like,
yeah.
I know a lot of people are just like, I want a campaign that goes from level 1 to level 20, but like in Dragon Heist, there's a lot that you can do from to levels 1 to 5. There's a lot of like character interactions you can do. There's a lot of people you can meet.
Level 1 to 5? I thought we went like level 7.
Well, I mean, y'all might have gotten an extra level or two, but yeah.
We may have cheated. But
I threw extra stuff at y'all.
Yeah, you added your own to it.
Like, you know, a forest full of fiery people, and you know, a primordial fire dragon.
Oh my god, never forget Primordial Dragon Gate. But
AQ, no. Low level adventures my ass.
Oh, just the moral dilemma surrounding killing the dragon and then hanging up the dragon's head.
Oh, yeah.
But then, oops, the dragon like came back to life anyway, and God, we were so pissed off that we lost our dragon head. Minus Benny's character Glide, who was like, yes. That game was so good. I will love that game always because I think it definitely brought us all closer together as friends.
And if you want to see what I did, it's on my Patreon. All you have to do is be a patron. I think it's $1. Yeah, not per month, just $1.
Just one single $1 and you'll get all the work that Connor did. Really, it's a steal. He is undercharging. Just get on it.
I'm undercharging for stuff that I probably legally am not allowed to charge for.
So we're Connor, edit that out and post. Really, guys, it is a steal that he is not charging more money. Get on the steal before he changes his mind. But yeah, no, that game is super special to me. And it had just a really good send off, and I can't believe that that happened this year. And you know, 2 months ago we recently celebrated the beginning of that, or was that 30 months ago? Anyway, it's been a whole year and some change since the beginning of Dragon Heist. So woo! Pop your champagne bottles.
you've played in a couple more games that you finished?
Yeah, I played in like 2 different Monster of the Week campaigns. One of those being on Pro Restarters channel, where I played Lemmy the Flake, which that was a very fun, the way that story shook out, where my character was, silly, funny alien conspiracy theorist until oops, aliens are real and they really do want to like take over the world. Also, your dad was like, your dad was your professor this whole time. He just had alien powers, so he was pretending to be H.P. Lovecraft, only less racist. Oops, did I say that out loud?
We all know.
So yeah, that was a really fun, satisfying conclusion for that campaign. Another campaign, I played a completely different character. I was playing an 11-year-old girl named Amelia, who was a spooky, who was basically like Matilda and 11 combined, and had just imaginary friends who were shadow demons.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun and cool. Are those the only campaigns I had that ended this year? Did I start more campaigns than I finished?
I think so. We started both Ethan's and my homebrew games.
Yes. Which have been put on hiatus for now, but we started them and played several filling sessions of them.
We talked about Mask.
Yes, Mask began and ended. Ghost of Saltmarsh began this year.
Yep.
This summer.
Cape Lorelei. You started.
Cape Lorelei began fairly recently. I think we started recording at the tail end of summer.
Yeah, right before Gen Con. We went to Gen Con.
We went to Gen Con again. We went back. The craziness of it all, and just had an absolute blast again.
I got this sweet girl.
You got Lady this year.
I got Lady, but I mean, you wouldn't know it because it seems like she's been here forever. I remember specifically, like it was during Breath of the Wild. Whenever I was playing Breath of the Wild on my stream, Dosmith popped in. It's just like, I thought you've had this dog for like forever. And I only had her for a couple of weeks at that point.
Yeah, Lady has just always been just like immediate love and acceptance, and just like, yep. God, I can't believe it hasn't even been like a full year, because it really does feel like it's been such a long time at this point. Mm-hmm. I love that good sweet girl.
Something exciting in your life happened right after Gen Con.
You're right. I like a week after Gen Con, I got engaged to the love of my life, EJ the Grey, Ethan, beep beep beep. Beyonce the channel, just me though, not Connor.
not me. Got that Mahoosuit sapphire that you can stab yourself with.
Yes. And I did accidentally stab myself with it today, which ouch. But yeah, no, I mean, come this time next year, I will be married? Question mark? I mean, yes, I will be married, but that's very difficult to process because up until this point, I have not been married. But that's fun and exciting, and wow, that happened this year. Like, can you believe?
Well, after Gen Con, well, I don't have a way to transition this. After Gen Con, you got married. After Gen Con, I made a Gen Con resolution. That's the best I can do. That's
you
it.
Had your big life changes. Let me just tell you about mine. Maybe.
So I didn't have a New Year's resolution, but after Gen Con, I did set up a list of things that I wanted to do before the end of the year. Run a Humblewood D&D 5e game. That didn't happen. Run a Vampire the Masquerade 5e game. I have done that.
That did happen. We ran like 2 games of that.
Yep.
Well, AQ was like absent.
Well, we ran 1 1/4.
Oh, 1.5.
Like, oh, we set up a mystery and it's ready to be resolved.
And we will resolve it at some point, maybe.
Maybe. Not gonna lie, I was expecting AQ to be gone 1 more week.
Damn it, AQ, why'd you come back?
So that did happen. That was very exciting. I would love to play in a Vampire the Masquerade stream or a Werewolf 5 stream, but Werewolf 5 it just got announced today, but it's not coming out until like 2021. So,
are you gonna run a campaign of that, or are you gonna try and play it?
I would rather try to play it. I'm not gonna lie, I do have a Powered by the Apocalypse game that essentially fills all of those roles for me, but without all the problematic stuff that comes with the World of Darkness.
But isn't the new Werewolf game being produced by an entirely different company?
It's being produced by Ivan Van Norman's studio, Hunters. Yeah, the same people who did Tales from the Loop. I think it's Tales from the Woods. Kids on Bikes.
And well, Sober Connor will put the right information in post, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still, unless they retcon a lot of the lore, the eugenics is still going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. At this point, knock on wood, like, you know, I mean, Van Norman as a person seems like cool, and like I get behind the games he runs, and he runs stuff that like isn't like it's problematic in the way that Werewolves did 9/11 is.
Yeah.
You know, so I would like to think that a company that is apparently helmed by him would, you know, be cool like that. But you know, we'll have to see, right?
Right.
But it's hopeful, right? It's a departure from, you know, the shit surrounding Worlds of Darkness, perhaps.
I hope so. That's it. Again, I found a Powered by the Apocalypse system that I have a little bit more freedom to do stuff in that I think I would prefer to run should I want to run a werewolf game in the meantime.
Not to totally like sidetrack the conversation, but you know what? Another campaign I played in this year. We didn't end up finishing it because of real life things, but I played Monster Hearts for the first time.
You did.
And I played a werewolf, an homage to you. That was fun. And maybe one day I'll play Monster Hearts again because I had fun playing it. And I would like to play it again. It's a fun system if you're down with monster boning. But what were we talking about?
Yes, I've run a Vampire 5e game. Another one was run a Numenera game. That did not happen. Both of these came after I played games of these at Gen Con.
Yeah, so you're feeling inspired.
Yep. The next one was publish a 1-page 5e adventure. That did not happen. But I did finally get published on the DM's Guild. I added 4 player races that I've been working on for a minute. publish that Amon Dragon Heist conversion notes thing on my Patreon. Maybe that'll go somewhere if I can ever publish, Exandria content.
Yeah.
And the Eberron Stronghold rules, that's up on DM's Guild. All of which are pay what you want. So go check that out.
Yeah.
But no, I did not publish a one-page 5e adventure. I have also not done any class options for 5e, which...
I mean, you did do class options for strongholds that were not published, if that counts.
Kinda
Half check.
It's a tool. It's but it's not a core player option that yeah.
Half check.
But the only thing that I actually put there was publish a one-page 5e adventure, which I have not done.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few that I was sort of working on, but no. Play Call of Cthulhu, that did not happen.
Oh, that didn't happen?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you didn't. Were you? No, you didn't join the. We had a.
I didn't think I had enough time, and quite frankly, I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a West Marches Call of Cthulhu campaign that we were running. So I play Call of Cthulhu. It's scary. It's a very scary game. But yeah, who knows? Maybe next year. I know if you tell Ethan that, he would find a way to rectify it.
And my last one was make an STL of my improv die and write a framework for an RPG system. That did happen.
Yeah, talk about it.
So I made a system. It's not an RPG system per se. It's more of just an improv framework. It is a 6-sided die with the words if, and but. And yes and no. So yes, it all came from the first rule of improv is to say yes and.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. So start off with saying no and, or no but, yes but, no if, and yes if. That's the entire system. You come up with a scenario and you roll a die, and depending on what you get, you can either say yes and agree to the situation that's presented and add more stuff, or based off of what you roll, change the scene with new information.
Yeah, this sounds like classic theater improv games like Freeze, but with dice controlling the flow of things, which as a theater kid myself, who very much loves improv games, I am so on board. And I think the concept of, correct me if I'm wrong, but the concept of GM-less games where we're all just kind of playing and making choices together are a fun, new, interesting twist on the tabletop games.
Yeah. This was just before I started doing this, I did not know what it meant to have a system that was just an experiment. But this is this is the definition of a very experimental system. It is just well, what happens if I challenge the first rule of improv, yes and there you go. I made a 2-page rule set that's just a 6-sided die changing improv.
Yeah.
But that was my last thing for my Gen Con resolution.
Yeah. How do you feel about your completion rate on your Gen Con resolution list?
There was a lot of I didn't do that right there. But you know, I still think I have made a lot of progress as an RPG creator and as just like someone who enjoys the hobby. Like
Yeah.
I've been playing in a lot of games, and I think I've been getting a lot more comfortable with my characters.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair to yourself as well, Gen Con happens in August. That's not a lot of time to accomplish those things in between then and like December, January, right? You know?
yeah,
Especially if your list was like, let me run some campaigns or some games for 3 different systems at least and publish things. Like, you know, that's a lot to accomplish.
yeah. So I think I will hope that I do better with an actual like New Year's resolution.
If we're gonna have to do New Year's resolutions for the podcast, Connor, we're gonna have to. It's gonna be juicy fun. We're gonna do it.
Well, just to start off, are there any New Year's resolutions that you think that you're going to do? You know, you don't have to commit to them yet, but are there any spicy things that you think you want to add to it?
I mean, I definitely have to think about it more. I mean, there are things from this year that I didn't accomplish that I feel like I should try to accomplish in the next year. One thing that I've just really been toying with, but like I haven't had the time to dedicate to this year to even like think about, but I really want to run a game of Urban Shadows. I don't know if I'm super familiar enough with the system to warrant stepping into the GM role, knowing that I barely know how to play, even though I've recorded like 11 episodes of a
Mm-hmm.
podcast for it. Whoops. Um, but yeah, I think it's a really fun system, and I really like the genre of monsters in real life in the modern day.
Yeah.
And I think Urban Shadows is really fun. So I would like to run a game of it. Um, Unfortunately for me, in my humble opinion, Urban Shadows is not a game that works super well in the one shot setting, just because, you know, you create a city together, you create these relationships together, and these political threads that really work best when they're able to germinate over several sessions. You know, so it's I mean, as someone who has played Urban Shadows in one shots versus a campaign, uh, the game definitely hits a stride whenever you have time to delve into the world you create. So, if I did that, I would be setting myself up for multiple sessions, which why would I ever do that? That's crazy. But uh, you know, something I would maybe like to accomplish next year. But you know, that's a very big maybe. And I feel like the rest of everything I would have to think about because, you know, I've drank a lot of White Zinfandel this evening, and my mind is not sharp as a tack. So I'll have to consider things more when I am sober. But what about you, Connor?
I want to GM a stream campaign.
Oh. Now, I mean, you can cut this out if you need to, but would you do it on your own channel?
I would not do it on my own channel.
Yeah, no, someone else's channel.
Yep. So yeah, I would like to run a stream campaign.
Ooh.
Hopefully not a long one.
Just some.
Maybe just like a couple of levels, but you know, that'd be fun. Uh, I've been playing in a lot of games where I'm like, wait, there's this really cool tool system that I feel like I have a good grasp of that I would like to use in my games, but I'm not the DM, so I'm not going to push it.
Yeah.
Uh, So, yeah.
What if you could be a DM?
Hmm?
But what if you
But
could
what if DM?
What if DM?
But what if DM? So yeah, I would like to do that for a little bit. I feel like I would need to get a lot better handle on safety tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. But I sort of need to get into the headspace that I don't need to do that on my own channel, because that's not what it's for.
That's fair. Speaking of our Twitch channels, you know what happened to both of us in 2019? Our Twitch channels like thrived and flourished.
Yeah, we
Yours much longer than mine, but still.
yeah, but I hit affiliate last year. But both of us really benefited from Twitch paying us every month. That change happened this year, and it's been great.
Oh my god, yes.
Thankfully, we both have a lot of it overlaps, but we both have great communities that can support us.
Yeah. And are, a joy to have in chat when they're not being incredibly horny. But let me just drop the mic.
God damn it.
The only person who needs to know about this is Sober Connor. But, when they're not being incredibly horny, they're just an absolute pleasure to be around. And it's been so great because, apparently, unlike some people I know who stream, I actually play games that, I enjoy. So, having my Twitch channel has been a really fun experience because I get to play games that I actually want to play, and I'm like, oh, these are a lot of fun.
Playing games that you enjoy. Who? I don't know her.
Yeah, that's a collab post for you and AQ. Whole brand is built around playing games that he hates and fears. And you two have recently, up until recently, have been playing games that just
that I hate.
Yes. But ooh. Yeah.
And you know what? Next week for the Wolf Quest charity stream.
Have you announced that yet? I mean, this
isn't going up until after.
But also, big time I will. Because I, for one, am the #1 Wolf Quest stan. Because, for those of you who don't know, way back in, the very young stages of Connor's Twitch channel, I came to him and I was like, hey, I have a game that you should play. It's called Wolf Quest. Don't look it up. Just play it blind on stream. And it's a very dry, educational game about wolves fucking, getting a home, fucking, making babies.
Peeing everywhere. Making sure your babies don't get killed by a bear.
Yeah, and then Connor is going to, or has played, the HD remake? ?
Yeah, the remaster.
God, what a beautiful. I, for one, am on board.
But yeah, we'll have given money to charity, and it's going to be great. And we're going to get a Fortune 500 company to also pay money to charity, which is great.
Hell yeah. Damn. It's really funny to me, but I can't believe that, or at least in my opinion, the biggest thing my channel, I feel like, is known for at this point, playing fucking Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I feel like it's become my brand, and honestly, that was such a fun playthrough. I really enjoyed the prop work and the VO and the gameplay. And I think everyone else did too. And I'm so excited to bring that back for 2020. I mean, I'm so excited to play the games I'm currently playing, but
Yeah.
I'm really going to enjoy getting back into that. So, oops, spoiler, Phoenix Wright 2, Electric Boogaloo is coming in 2020.
Ooh.
But God, yeah, no, I mean, our Twitch channels, I feel like, really hit our stride this year. And we'll continue to improve, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like I need to take something from that call out post. I would like to play more games that I actually enjoy next year.
Please. Just do it. Play games that you like is my advice as a person who has never played a game that they've hated on stream. Like, you don't have to torture yourself for people's enjoyment. Just have fun.
I don't know her.
Please, I can introduce you. We're mutual friends.
But yeah. Well, Kylen, it's gonna be real great seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Oh my fuck. I'm sorry, but I totally forgot that it was happening. Because oops, White's infidel. But yeah, it's gonna happen. The real life meetup.
We will probably not be recording an episode there because, it's spending time with friends.
We totally talked about doing it last year, but then we were like, what if we enjoyed friendship instead?
Yeah. What if we didn't focus on, creating content?
Yeah, let's just have fun and get drunk without recording it.
So, yeah, we're going to see each other real soon after, spending time with our families and no internet.
Let's commiserate on that. Woo, we love it. The boonies, baby.
It's great.
So yeah, if you hear nothing from us come, mid to late December, that's why.
That's why we don't have any way to communicate. But yeah, it's been a great 2019 of talking about it. Hey, we rebranded this year.
We did.
We got our second season.
Oh yeah, we did get second season with new assets and everything.
We got new offsets by Otsqueef.
Offsets by Otsqueef. Which, yeah, I mean, we got merch, which we
got a little bit of merch.
Some of. We sold a number.
Hey. Today, friend of the channel, BlinkDog182, said that he was enjoying Critical Role Campaign 1 while sipping out of a Let's Talk About It mug. So, you know what? Some people enjoy it, and that makes me very happy.
I also used my Let's Talk About It mug this morning to drink some tea out of. So, I don't care if you guys buy the merch. I'm enjoying it.
But look, that's what the entire concept of this is. We're making something that Kylen and I enjoy, and then maybe you can enjoy it too.
Maybe you can enjoy it so Connor will earn $1. Whoa, this is Let's Talk About It is a cash cow, baby.
Oh yeah, let me tell you about that 20 cents of ad revenue that
Oh my god, we struck the gold mine. Oh my god.
Well, this is certainly derailed.
Yeah, can we even keep this part?
I don't. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Sober Connor just gives up at this point, just like fuck it, we'll do it live.
Well, it's certainly been a great 2019 of talking about it. Everybody, enjoy your holidays and your New Year's.
Hang on, let me look up the lyrics to Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah. Oh God, this is not in English.
No, it's not.
This is not in English.
When new acquaintance
Be forgot and should all acquaintance be forgot and all was mine. That'll be 2019, baby. Hopefully 2020 is even better.
Get your 2020 vision boards out. You're gonna be hearing that joke a fuck ton.
Hey.
Bye, guys.
All right. Love you very much, and we will see you next decade. Bye. Bye.
Lady said bye.